Thank you. My name is Omondi Collins. I'm from the East Africa Radiation Protection. I'm the lead advocacy. Our vision is to see nuclear energy in Kenya and the rest of Africa. So far, we only have one nuclear power plant in Africa, and we need to advocate so that the policymakers can consider nuclear energy in Africa. We believe nuclear energy is the energy of choice and can actually power all our activities in Africa.
Hi guys, my name is Diana Kamadi. I am a student and I'm a member of East Africa Association for Radiation Protection.
Electricity is an important factor for economic growth, improving living standards and poverty alleviation for any country. At a global level, the percentage of people with access to electricity has been steadily increasing over the last few decades. In 1990, around 71% of the world's population had access, and this has increased to 90% by 2019. What this means is that about 10% of the world do not have access to electricity. While the trend is upward for the most countries, a number of African countries are still severely lagging. At the lowest end of the spectrum, the lack of electricity is mostly in Africa and Asia. It is in this regards that the Eastern Africa Association of Radiation Protection, EAARP, is involved in nuclear energy advocacy. We believe the advocacy allows the professional's voice to be heard in the public sphere and in the long run attracting attention from politicians, the media, and the policymakers around the world. We believe generally the world lacks safe, low-carbon, and cheap, large-scale energy alternatives to fossil fuels.
I am also a young member of the East Africa Association for Radiation Protection. So what we are mainly concerned in doing, or what I am here to do today, is nuclear advocacy. We are here to advocate on matters relating to nuclear and to demystify some of the myths and misconceptions around nuclear energy, and to also educate the general public on nuclear energy. It is hoped that in the next 10 to 15 years that we are going to have a nuclear power plant of our own in the country, and so we are trying to educate the general public from all walks of life, in schools, on the streets, in their various working institutions, on what nuclear energy and matters radiation protection entail. So I hope that we all receive this message positively as we continue to champion for nuclear energy, because it is safe, it is renewable, and it is clean.
We believe nuclear energy is the future. Nuclear energy is a better alternative because it's one of the most low-carbon energy sources. It has the smallest carbon footprints. It is the answer to the current energy gap. It is an essential response to climate change and the greenhouse gas emissions. And lastly, it is reliable and cost-effective. We started our visit to the aviation industry and why aviation. Every day, more than 100,000 flights transport almost 12 million passengers. Aviation is one of the most global industries, connecting people, cultures, and businesses across continents.
Okay, thanks for having me also.
Yeah.
My name is Karan Patel. I'm the director and founder of Tailwind Solutions.
Yeah.
And Tailwind Solutions Limited was founded by myself. I'm very passionate about aviation, and the whole reason this company is here today is to serve that industry mainly. However, as the years have gone by, we're now 3 years in operation. We have found ourselves being able to support the industrial and the aerospace industry with our professional non-destructive testing services. And alongside that, we are able to also provide consumable chemicals for NDT, chemicals for surface treatment, tooling, and other consultancy and let's say professional services to those industries.
The nuclear testing techniques are crucial for ensuring the aerospace industry is safe and reliable. We paid a courtesy call the National Regulatory Authority, KNRA. Here, the team met the Director General Engineer James Kater. The EAARP discussed with the regulator the need to ensure safety of radiation equipment in the country. Engineer James Keter assured the Kenya public of safety of all radiation equipment within the country and the programs that they have put in place, including regular inspection, licensing, service providers, calibration, authorization, security and safeguard. The team also visited the Nuclear Power and Energy Agency, NUPEA, which is responsible for promoting and implementing Kenya's nuclear power program, carrying out research and development for the energy sector. We emphasize the need to fast-track nuclear power programs for the benefits of all Kenyans. The Kenya Nuclear Advocacy ANA held one-day workshop at Public Service Club in Nairobi. The aim of the workshop was to take stock on the nuclear energy, situational nuclear advocacy, provide a forum for the exchange of information, and share latest information on safety, security, and safeguards. Presentations were made on the Kenya Nuclear Power Program, the need to enhance nuclear advocacy, challenges and opportunities of nuclear energy, and radiation application. The conference was attended by, among others, Kenya Government Chief Scientist Dr. David Otuoma, outgoing Chairman of Physics Department of Kenyatta University Dr. Nadir Hashim, and the Chair of Eastern Africa Association of Radiation Protection, EAARP, Ms. Quinta Osoro, among others.
My name is David Otuoma. I was young the way you are saying you are final year in 1987. That's when I was a final year. The way the engineer said he's graduating in June, as we graduated in December. Those days graduations were graced by His Excellency the President, not like today when he's Cabinet Secretary. So if the president was not available, you had no graduation. But now the good thing, after graduating in 1987, remember it was 5th December, on 7th December, I was called for an interview by the Public Service Commission. And because I did physics, I was offered 3 jobs. One was to be a teacher of physics, another was to be a factory inspector, and then there was a new organization called Radiation Protection Board. They wanted officers who had a degree. So I had 3 choices. That was now I graduate on 5th, on 7th, I have an interview and I picked radiation protection, not because I knew what it was that time, but it sounded novel. Teacher I knew since primary school.
The African Nuclear Advocacy ANA then went to University of Nairobi, which is located at the Kenya capital. The UON is the largest university in Kenya with a students population of about 84,000 and 2,200 academic staff with PhD and more than 450 professors. The event was attended by both the students and academic staff. The activities included presentation and entertainment. There was panel discussion that included Dr. Rose Nyabanda, Director at Kenyatta National Hospital, Mr. Humphrey Lomadede of Kenya Industrial Research and Development Institute, EAARP, lead advocate Mr. Collins Omondi, among others.
I want to throw the first question to you, and of course you answered one even in your introduction. I was going to ask for you to highlight how radiation is used in diagnostics, but I will not go into that because you already told us about radiotherapy and medical application. But I want to ask, what kind of skills and knowledge is needed for medical applications, and what is the duration of this training, and are they available locally? For one as such, young ones who are viewing and listening to you this afternoon, are these ones available locally? What is the duration, and what options do they have? What sort of knowledge and skills is needed in that area? Briefly, very briefly, Dr. thank you.
And most of these people who are talking to you here are telling you that they've studied locally. And so we are able, the skills and the knowledge that we have are available in our universities. As I've told you, in radiology, you either take the path of medicine and go into radiology. Right now, we didn't have PET, CT scan, and people needed to go abroad for the test or even for really have the expertise, but right now the expertise is around locally. So most of the skills we have locally, and you are able to go into that path. It takes a speciality to go into, to read like the CT scans, as you say, the MRI, to do interventional radiology techniques. So there are several subspecialties in radiology, and most of those skills are available locally.
Next question to go to Lumadede. Rumor has it that you are one of the pioneers of nuclear energy in Kenya. Is that true?
Yes, it's true.
And if yes, what has your experience been in this space?
Actually, manpower was the biggest problem. There was a very little manpower. The only place we have is the Institute of Nuclear Science, but it didn't have very many graduates, and also the lecturers were few. So we now started helping this government and introducing them to other countries, and we have very many students now outside this country who are studying the nuclear science, especially I met one student who is doing thermonuclear heat transfer at Texas Agricultural and Mechanical University, where I also trained there for about 2 months about nuclear. So that is a very good university if you are interested. So we really have a problem with the manpower. The only thing also we wanted is that the government should move quickly and install the program. And we have done the legal part, the regulator. Before you do a nuclear power plant, you must have the regulator, someone to regulate that. And we have the Kenya Nuclear Regulatory Authority, which was the former Radiation Protection Board. So we now have an authority which can regulate the nuclear power plant. So we are on the right track. It is now the nuclear power and energy agency to move very quickly and employ. We actually said that we should be dealing with training 1,000 Kenyans every year for a nuclear program to take place in Kenya. In areas field, legal, you train in legal, mechanical, chemistry, all these people, we need about 1,000 of you every year to train. Some of you will go into other things, but another nucleus will need to continue the nuclear power program, because the nuclear power program, it is the people in that country who must do it. Nobody will come from outside to run the nuclear power plant for you. So please, we need more trainings and we need more people to move into this field. Thank you.
Right, their colleagues. Yes, Mr. Ogondi, tell us, how do you, and especially because you say you're not dead and clearly we can say you're still alive, but how do you, even as you do your work, how do you ensure quality of radiation equipment as you do what you do every day? How do you ensure the quality of radiation equipment?
Thank you. That's a good question. All importation beside nuclear has to undergo a testing, whether you're importing a car, housing material, any other item, consumables, must be tested. So the work at FedEx is to ensure the quality. So this will be tested by 3 parameters. First, it must meet the manufacturer's specifications. So every nuclear equipment must ensure that it meets those specifications. Then the accuracy. Any equipment that is used for measurement, it could be for medical, for industrial application, we ensure that it meets those specifications. And lastly, we develop standards. So we ensure that those equipments meet the local standards are developed locally together with all other stakeholders.
Oh, Dr. David, now we've been talking nuclear, but it's possible that we don't even understand what we're talking about. So what is nuclear in very simple language, and what are some of the applications in this space?
Thank you very much.
You know, we can go on and on for a whole hour discussing and we have no idea what we're talking about.
Thank you very much. Since these are chemistry students, I'll start with the reaction. So there are 4 types of reactions which involve issue nuclear. The first one, I can call it fusion. Fusion is like the way the sun, either the light we see or the warmth we feel from the sun reaches us. So for that to happen, the atoms in the sun, usually hydrogen, they come together and then they create something called helium. That's basic chemistry. I'm sure the chemistry students understand. But that process releases a lot of energy, and some of that energy reaches us in form of the light we are seeing during the day and the heat we feel when we are out in the sun. So that's one, the fusion. And then the one I used to inspect, the nuclear facilities I used to inspect, again another reaction, fission. Fission is when a heavy atom like uranium, for example, or thorium, it splits into 2 or more particles. So when that happens again, there is a release of energy, and actually when uranium or thorium splits, that heat which is released is used to boil water, and that water turns turbine, and that turbine runs a motor which do physics to make electricity. Another reaction is the reactive decay. So I'm sure you've been here in Kenya not more than 2 weeks ago. We took our first spacecraft to orbit. We took our first. So now our spacecraft is going around the Earth every 4 times a day, every day. So now to take it to orbit, it was rocket science, and now it is in orbit around the Earth taking pictures of Kenya. But now when we do space exploration, right now our spacecraft, our satellite relies on radiation from the sun it has like solar panels. Like I see there is something there. That light, probably there's a panel on the rooftop. But now if something goes outside space, if you want to explore space outside our solar system, now you need to power it with a nuclear device, usually a plutonium source, which as it is decaying, it releases heat, and that heat you turn it into energy. Then the 4th and last reaction is transmutation. When I did nucleonics, so nuclear physics, it's mainly the neutron. But in an atom, I'm sure you know it has electrons. That's a lot of chemistry dealing with electron activities. Then we have the proton and the neutron. So when you add another proton or remove a proton from any element, you turn it into another element. So that's transmutation. So all those 4 reactions, they produce nuclear energy.
Now, Quinta, as a young female scientist, how did you end up in regulation of radiation? But also, in addition, I would want you to tell us something about the Eastern Africa Association of Radiation Protection of Radiation, which is radiation protection or protection of radiation, whichever you fit. And then also, if you could tell us about the objectives of this body, tell us about the structure, tell us something that would maybe help us to be interested, or that would help us to create some interest to join it or to be associated with it, because you sit at the helm of it. So begin by telling us as a science student. I'm sure there's a lot of competition there, but you ended up in such a big organization. How did you end up there?
Okay, so first of all, like I mentioned, I'm a chemist, and I studied nuclear science in my last year, that is the 4th year. It's part of the
The African Nuclear Advocacy ANA was carried out at Nairobi town. Nairobi is the capital and largest city of Kenya with a population of over 5 million. The event took place at the recently renovated Aga Khan Workstage, which is in the middle of the Central Business District (CBD) and is fast becoming a common rest point for most Nairobians. There were over 50 volunteers, mostly students from University of Nairobi, Kenyatta University, Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology, among others. The government agencies were well represented, including staff from Kenya National Regulatory Authority, KNRA, Kenya Bureau of Standards (KEBS), Nuclear Power and Energy Agency (NUPIA), researchers, among others. The program included entertainment from world-class acrobats specialized in the art of jumping, tumbling, balancing, climbing, swinging, vaulting, plyometrics, rolling and quadrupedal. There were entertainment from professional dancers with amazing range of dance acts including choreographed dance from public, traditional dance and the local Maasai dance. To attract young audience, the skaters were involved freeze skate, skating races, gliding competition, tic-tac-toe, obstacle course, etc. All the entertainers were branded with t-shirts and caps with all well caption, quote-unquote, "Nuclear is the future." At the tail end of the street event, there was a media briefings that included the justification on why Kenya and Africa needed to go to the nuclear way. Some of the media houses covering the event including Top TV, Kenya Television Network, among others.
Hello guys, we are here at the Aga Khan Walk at our final and closing event. It's been wonderful. We have learned so much, things that even us didn't know. So thank you for joining us today and see you in the next one. Thank you.
On the 13th of May 2023, the Eastern Africa for Radiation Protection EAARP team took to the streets of Nairobi to sensitize the public about the benefits of nuclear energy, its application in various fields, and why nuclear is the future of energy in Kenya.
Hello, my name is Miriam Guru. I'm a student at the University of Nairobi. We are here with EAARP, East Africa Association for Radiation Protection. We are here to advocate for the importance of using nuclear energy. We're all of us here at a street event, and one of the things that we're trying to put across is nuclear energy will be very beneficial to the country in terms of electricity, and electricity will be cheaper and it's carbon free, so it's very, it won't harm the climate, everything will be okay. And we're trying to urge everyone and create awareness on nuclear energy for the people who do not know about it, and to urge the government to also let it be known, and we want to have a nuclear plant in around the next 10 to 15 years.
Paul Mutaganzwa. I'm a final year student at the University of Nairobi, taking Bachelor of Science in Chemistry. I am also a young member of the East Africa Association for Radiation Protection. So what we are mainly concerned in doing, or what I am here to do today, is nuclear advocacy. We are here to advocate on matters relating to nuclear and to demystify some of the myths and misconceptions around nuclear energy, and to also educate the general public on nuclear energy. It is hoped that in the next 10 to 15 years that we are going to have a nuclear power plant of our own in the country, and so we are trying to educate the general public from all walks of life, in schools, on the streets, in their various working institutions, on what nuclear energy and matters radiation protection entail.
My name is Quinta Osora, the chairperson for Eastern Africa Association for Radiation Protection. Today was a good day for the association. We were carrying out nuclear advocacy. We have been able to engage the public and interested stakeholders in the nuclear advocacy. That is to demystify the fears around nuclear energy. So I would like to thank the public for being there and also availing themselves for us to give them the knowledge about nuclear energy and also to demystify what is the fears around nuclear energy. So we are grateful for those who are able to participate, and those who are not able to participate, we plan that this is just the first of the many advocacy sessions that we are planning to have for the association. So thank you so much for the public and also those who are engaged, the students and also the members. We encourage all the members we encourage all the researchers and all the students in the country to join us, because this is the place where we are going to help you understand more about nuclear energy.
On behalf of everyone at EAARP, we would like to express our sincere gratitude for your generous donation at Generation Atomic, Stand Up Nuclear, and members of the Professional Association. We believe nuclear power awareness will put radiation risk into perspective, provide factual information for making informed decisions, and reduce misconception over time and about nuclear. We want to leave you with the famous quote from Dr. Martin Luther King, and I quote, "If you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, you have to keep moving forward." End of the quote. The nuclear energy programs is experiencing some challenges that need urgent solutions. Birds sing, not because they have the answers, but because they have the songs.